Welcome back, everyone. This is Mr. Storm, and this is part 3 of our number guessing tutorial. So now we have a playable game, which we can win and we can lose. But we want to make sure that we want to make it look a little bit better. One of the big problems we have with the game right now is that with this input, they can type anything they want. And if they do, our game kind of doesn't know what to do with it. So right here, it's just going to check for a number, and let me show you kind of what the problem would be. So if I just type whatever I want here and hit guess, it's going to tell me that I won. Well, that's a big problem. That's kind of a bug, right? Because what's happening with the logic here is it's saying, all right, so the player's guess, is boogers. It's a string called boogers, right? It's going to try to turn that into an integer value, but it's not really going to be successful because boogers is not a number, right? It is a string of characters. So what is going to end up being placed into boogers or into player's guess is not the string boogers, because it's going to try to turn it into a number. It's going to be, what's going to be put in there is what's called NaN, N-A-N, or not a number. Now, when we go down to our checks here, it's going to say if not a number is larger than mystery number. Well, we can't make that comparison because it's not a number. So it's going to go to the else if not a number is less than mystery number. Well, again, we can't make that comparison because it's not a number. So then it's going to default to this else, which is us winning the game. So we want to fix that. We want to make sure that they can't put anything but a number into that field. So the way we're going to do that is through this idea called validation. Now, validation is a very important thing for any time you allow users to enter anything into your game. You want to validate that input to make sure it's what you're looking for. So what we're going to do is in the click handler function, we want to, instead of calling the play game function, we want to first call a new function called validate input. Okay, and we're going to go down here and we're going to create the new validate input function, and we're going to have this validate the input that the user has given us. And so here we're going to do that parse. We're going to try to parse that. Okay, basically looking for whether or not that's an actual number. And we want it to go, we want it to say if, oh, not of, if is NaN is not a number. And it's important that you type it like this, capital N, lowercase a, capital N, because that's how it's going to be represented in the code or in the variable. So if it's not a number, then we want to run this. Oh, we want to run this. And we just basically want to tell them, sorry, you did something wrong. So we're going to say, please enter a number. And then else, we're going to have them, we're going to run the play game function. So if it is a number, we're just going to let them go right into the game. If it's not, we're going to tell them, hey, you've got to enter a number. Okay, so now there's a little bit of validation there, which is great. That's what we want. Okay, let's see. What else can we do? Let's find another problem with this code. Ooh, here's one. It's very annoying having to click that button every time you want to run the code, right? Every time you want to play the game, you've got to click the guess button, and I don't like it. I want to be able to type what I want, right? And hit the enter key on my keyboard. So all we have to do there is we have to create a new event listener. And we're going to create a function that handles this event listener called Keydown Handler. So first what we want to do is, we'll just do it right here. This works. We're going to window.add event listener, and it's going to be a key down, and we are going to call the key down handler. Oh, okay. And so basically we've just created a new event listener to the window itself, to the browser window. And the function we're going to call is called key down handler. And we want the value of the event to go into the function. And what we want it to do is say if event dot key code equals 13, then we want to run the validate input function. So what that means is I want to create a new event listener, right? And this one, instead of looking for a mouse click, it's looking for a key to be pressed on my keyboard. And when it is pressed, any key at all, it's going to run key down handler. Now the key down handler is then going to check that key for the key code. The key code, every button on your keyboard has a specific key code that it sends to JavaScript, right? And that key code for the enter key is 13. So if that event is the key code 13, it means we've hit the enter key, and it's going to run our validate input function just like our click handler. So let's try that out and make sure that actually worked. So let's save and refresh. So 34, and I'm going to hit the enter key, and it actually worked. Perfect. So we have another event handler there that's doing work for us, which is fantastic. Now let's try to enter something that's not a number. Please enter a number. Great. So that works as well. So our validation's working, and we've given them the ability to hit the enter key instead of having to hit our guess button. Great. So that is, let's see, what else? Oh, see, now I'm excited. We can make this better. Let's do this. Now, when I load my page, notice that my cursor doesn't automatically jump right to my text input field. That's kind of annoying. I've got to come over here and click it, and then I can start typing. What I want to do is I actually want to add some focus. And what that means is when the page loads, I want the cursor to automatically jump to the input field. And this is actually really easy to do. All we have to do is go back to our code. Let's go back up to our input. Okay. And right here, all we have to do is type auto focus. That's it. And now what's going to happen is whenever I reload my page, my cursor's already there, right? My cursor jumps to the input field so I can just start typing away, which is great. Alrighty. What else do we want to do? Last thing we want to do for this video. So we want to make sure that the game isn't just 50 all the time, because that would be super, super, super boring. I don't want it just to be 50. So we want to randomize that value every single time we play the game. So here's what we're going to do. Let's do, how do we want to do this? Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back to the code, and let's go to our mystery number variable. Instead of giving it a mystery number, we want to give it a random value. And luckily, JavaScript has a way to do this pretty easily. It's called the math function, and within the math function, there are plenty of other things that we can call. So with this, we want a ceiling to how high the number can go. We don't want the number to be higher than 99, obviously, right? Because 99 would be, 99 is our threshold, because we've already told them between 0 and 99. So we want it to have a ceiling. So we're going to do math ceil, like ceiling, and then we want to make it a random number. So math.random, and we want to times that number by 99. Now, the logic behind this may not make any sense right now, but let's break it down just a little bit. This math.random function, essentially what it does is it creates a random variable, and let's see, how best to explain this. Actually, we want this to be 100. So this math.random function creates a random variable, and then, well, we can do math ceiling 99, actually. Sorry. So it takes this random variable, and then it times it by 99. And the ceiling is going to be that 99 value. So that means we can't do anything higher than 99. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let's do it this way. Instead of ceiling, let's do floor. This is just a little bit cleaner way to do it. Sorry, this is kind of why my thoughts are getting jumbled up, because I knew something looked wrong on there, and I was trying to think about it, and I knew there was a cleaner way to do this. So instead of ceiling, we're going to use floor, because floor is going to set a lowest value, right? Our lowest value is going to be, we want it to be 0. So we want the lowest possible value it can be to be 0, right? And then the math.random is going to output, what it's going to do is it's going to give us a random number between 0 and 1, right? Some of you may be thinking, well, there are no numbers between 0 and 1. There are. What happens is it gives you a decimal point. It gives you 0 point something, right? 1 being the highest, 0 being the lowest. And so when we get that decimal, all we have to do is times it by 100, and that decimal becomes a number from 0 to 99. Okay, so that's all we have to do. It could possibly end up being 100, but that's okay. We can just change this. So in theory, this should work. Let's go ahead and try it and see if we get random numbers every time. So now the game actually, now at this point, we don't even know what the number is going to be every time we run this game, which makes it kind of fun. So I'm going to guess 50, because that used to be our number. That's too low. So 50 is too low. Let's cut it in half, go 55. That's too high. So it's in between 50 and 75. We'll go 63. That's too low. So 63 and 75, we'll say 68. Yay, it's 68. So it picked 68 for that run. Let's try this one. 50. It's too high, so 25. That's too high. 13. That's too low. So let's do 19. That's too low. 22. Yay, 5 guesses. So now we actually have a game, right? It'll pick a number between 0 and 100, and we have something to play. So at this point, you actually have something interesting. I'm going to call it quits for this video. The next video should be the last one in this series. All we're going to do is we're going to make it look a little bit prettier. We don't really need it to be any more complicated than it is. We're just going to make it look a little bit better. So we'll do that in the next video, and we should be done with this game. All right. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy.